Okay, guys, episode 19, first double eviction of the summer. A lot of information to cover, so let's just get started. It starts off at Gina Marie naming Spencer as the renominee. Judd, after this whole nomination ceremony, is talking to his alliance, which is apparently including Amanda and McCrae. He mentions to her that she needs to stop having meltdowns because it's going to put a target on her back, the alliance's back. Everybody is going to have an issue, and she just needs to stop. She takes it about as seriously as she always does. Not at all! Jesse's kind of talking about what it would be like to possibly backdoor Amanda, and even Helen seems kind of keen on the idea, but she won't swing unless the rest of her alliance is on board, which they aren't, so there's that exciting possibility. Out the fucking window! Candace and Jesse are really, grilling Helen about it, I guess you'd say, while they're in the hammock, and they're telling Helen that they know that she has control over a lot of the house, and they really need these votes to try and flip the house against Amanda. Helen is doing anything she can to try and deflect this conversation away from her, telling them that she doesn't have any control over the house, and don't worry about it, and like just trying to deflect the conversation off of her any way she can. What Helen's scared of, and she should be, because it's actually a really smart move. She's the only person playing with this type of mentality, a strategic one. If they evict Amanda, the next big power player that they're going to have to go after is her. So why would she want to get rid of Amanda? She's like her cover, her shield. Why would she do that? So, comes over to eviction time. Time to evict the first house guest of the night. Julie drops a couple bombs on the house guests, lets them know that for an extra big summer, we're going to have an extra big jury, blah, 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 blah. The jury is 9 people this year. They all look really proud. Jessie looks super excited that she made it to jury. She looks so proud of herself. But then Julie kind of made them all just worry a lot, because she dropped another bomb of possibility of returning players. I just hope they don't pull a Big Brother Canada and throw somebody in while the Final Four is happening. That was bullshit. While Candace is doing her save me speech while she's on the block right before the eviction vote happens, her and Gina Marie get into a full-out screaming match. She makes fun of Gina Marie for being 33 years old and still living with her mother. She calls her out for a lot of stuff. Gina Marie was saying a whole bunch of really terrible things about Candace this week, and Candace decided to go out with a fucking bang. She reminds me of Chelsea Hart from Big Brother 9, how she went out. It was perfect. She ripped Gina Marie like 5 new assholes, and in my opinion, I honestly think that Candace won. Gina Marie looked like an asshole by the end of it all. The vote happens, and by unanimous vote, surprise, surprise! Candace has been evicted. Really disappointed in this cast that they supplied us with this summer, because they promised a summer of no floaters and all of this other crap, and I hate the mentality that they have in the house where they're like, we have to vote with the house, we have to vote with the majority. Big Brother 11, in my opinion, was the last really good season. In that season, if I'm correct, that is, the only unanimous vote was the one to get rid of Russell, and that's because the two sides that were opposing each other hated Russell more than they hated each other, and that was the only reason that it was unanimous. Literally, almost every vote this season has been unanimous, except for the first one with David. As Candace is leaving, Gina Marie decides to be a bitch again and starts saying to her things like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And just as she's leaving, it's like the perfect. And she looks at Gina Marie and she's like, have fun going back living with your mother. Zing! That was awesome. Where the hell is the Zing bot when you need him? Julie, in her eviction interview with Candace, kind of questions her as to her feelings towards all the racist stuff that's happening in the house. She basically just reaffirms to us everything that we've already seen her do. She stands up for who she is. She doesn't believe in things like that, and she was really, really upset about the things that were said about her in the house. Gina Marie even went so far on a few occasions as to make fun of the fact that Candace's mom doesn't even love her. Considering Candace is adopted, I think that's an absolute bitch move. Gina Marie, you look like an idiot, and your family should be ashamed. Much like your employer clearly is. So we run right into another HOH competition in this double eviction. They ask questions like, how many of this are in the house? Is it this number? Is it less or more? And everyone answers less or more on their little board, and they move on from there. They asked like 3 questions. On the 3rd question, almost everybody answered less. Erin answered more, and sadly, she wins another fucking HOH. Really? Why? Why? Seriously? Why? She She actually clearly did not want this HOH, because when she won, you could see her mouthing, "Ah, fuck!" See them for a few moments in the photo booth room. They're all kind of chatting with each other. Judd is in the room, and they're kind of just scheming as to what's going to happen. If you've been watching the live feeds, it's very obvious as to what's going to happen for this. They were kind of anticipating something happening, and they have discussed what they would do in the event that this came to be. I was kind of let down by how predictable this double eviction was. Aaron could have thrown a wrench in everybody's plans of this double eviction, because winning a double eviction HOH, it's really easy to get a power player out like that. So I don't know why she didn't take her shot when she had it. Anyway, Aaron decides to be predictable again, puts up Spencer and Jesse. Spencer's starting to become a worse Pawn Star than AJ. Power of Veto competition comes around. It's a skill puzzle competition. You have to run back and forth and grab all these nails, find the ones that fit in your puzzle, and then lock in your answer. And when you're done, if you get them all right, you win. Unfortunately, Aaron wins again. It's like somebody up there hates me. They just never want me to be pleased with the outcome of Big Brother, ever. Ever! Veto ceremony comes around. Huge blindside for Judd, unfortunately. She used the veto on Jesse and replaced her with Judd. The save me speeches before the eviction vote happens, Judd looks totally panicked. He didn't expect this to happen. He's totally blindsided and absolutely scrambling to try and get anybody to vote for him. The vote happens, and sadly, this was a really sad eviction to watch. By unanimous vote, Judd was evicted from the Big Brother house. It was actually, Judd almost expected it after the voting had happened. There must have been some conversations happening while the voting was occurring that we didn't get to see. Because when she was reading the vote out loud to the house, he was already standing up and leaving as she was announcing it, and she hadn't even said his name yet, so he obviously knew he was going. The house is very sad after this eviction. I've never seen so much crying, and I think this was actually the first genuinely sad eviction for the house guests as well. None of them have really cared up until this point, except for Gina Marie with her obsession with Nick. We all know how much she cared, but they just really seemed upset by this one. He was a really good social player, and they were really worried about the fact that he had MVP, which he didn't, so they had to get rid of him in their eyes. Judd's evicted in his bear shirt at least. What more can the poor guy ask for? He got blindsided. At least he got evicted in his shirt. Come on back for episode 20, guys. Kind of a predictable double eviction, but hopefully the next one is a little bit more exciting.